Have you ever paid somebody a compliment and the person reacted super badly and you felt somehow not done justice? Sorry for my bad English. Well, chances are whatever you paid them did not land as a compliment. So we need to look into the art of complimenting and understanding your intention on one side, but how it reaches them on the other side. Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. In the past, I've done at least 2 other videos. One was on complimenting, and I was just looking at what words to say. And another video was on intimate honoring. In my mind, we were like above the level of complimenting because we had spoken about this in the past on the channel. And we were going to go to the next level, which is on intimate honoring. Like, that's a whole different discussion. But it turns out a lot of people still need to understand the art of complimenting. Now, we can compliment people from all areas of our lives, not just our intimate partners or the people we're interested in, drawn to, attracted to, or the people that we see them as our potential partners. So the art of complimenting is way more complex or way larger than just covering the niche of intimacy. However, I'm going to stick to our niche because, well, I want to stay on point. So the first thing is this. I was doing a video on what if your partner meets somebody hotter than you. So I get a lot of comments. One of them was, "You are pretty hot. If you didn't dye your hair, I think you would look very good with white hairs or gray hairs." So I replied something in the lines of, wow, whatever happened to accepting other people, especially strangers, so people that we don't know, for who they are, how they are, what they do with themselves, and not fixing them, not giving them advice without even learning about them, anything. Had that been a comment about health, rest, food, sleep, anything about the physical or emotional health, that comment would have been much better received. It would have landed better, basically. Then I also put on PS, henna/indigo, because that's what I use on my hair, doesn't cover white hairs. It just darkens the natural hair color. I like myself how I fix myself. Thank you very much for understanding. This guy's reply was, okay, take it easy. I said you were pretty hot. And I also think you have a hot personality or something like that. So I deleted it. Now let's look at the art of complimenting, and we're going to start with this example. Sure, I could have brushed it off and said, you know what, this guy just didn't get it, and delete it, and that's it. Mind your own business or go on about your life. But essentially, people come here to learn about intimacy, attraction, seduction, although I don't do many videos on that topic. So I feel this is a good example for us to take and to learn from it. So number one, what were the mistakes here? Number one, this guy didn't know me, I didn't know him. He made an assumption that I have gray hairs and that I dye my hair to cover gray hairs. He made the assumption that whatever he feels is sexy, I also feel would be sexy. Or that whatever he felt I should look like, I feel that I should look like that too. So he didn't know me, he made a lot of assumptions about me, and then he gave me a compliment from his side. It didn't land as that. A correction on what to do with my physique, with my looks. And it was unsolicited. And it was done in public. So, mistake number one, you're a stranger. You don't know the person. Mistake number two, you assume stuff about the person. Mistake number three, you tell the person in public how to fix their looks. Mistake number four, you forget that you're a man and this is a woman. And historically speaking, men have had a lot of opinions on women's bodies. How women should fix their bodies, how women should deal with their bodies, what they should do with their bodies, and so on. So you make like 4 capital sins in terms of relating to a woman that you don't know, you saw for the first time. This guy was not a subscriber to the channel. Essentially, no, I didn't receive that. I didn't feel that was a compliment. I didn't curse or swear to the guy. I just told him, you know, you should start accepting people for what they are. Also, you shouldn't assume because you don't know what people are doing and why. 3, people do whatever they feel is best for them. Your job here is to accept people as they are. If you can't accept them as they are, move on and go on to other people who you can accept as they are, and you don't need to give unsolicited advice on how to fix themselves. That would have been the super bitchy answer. I didn't give it like that. Okay, I'm European, Eastern European. I don't give that kind of reactions unless you really piss me off. So I did explain to the guy that I darken my hair, but the stuff that I use, which is natural, doesn't cover white hairs. So translations, don't assume that I have white hairs because I don't. I do have lighter colored hair. I like it dark. That's my personal preference. Now, how to actually pay a compliment. Number 1, establish what your relationship is with that person. So what I'm talking about here, have you ever met them? Because if this is just somebody you see online, there's 0 relationship here, okay? And it's always going to be a 0 relationship. If you've never met them in person, this is not a relationship. God damn it. I know people here are not in their 40s or probably in their 20s, and they think this is it. No. Have you met the person in real life, in the flesh? Have you stood with them next to a fire, campfire? Have you eaten something with them, shared a meal? Cooked a meal with them? Have you, I don't know, gone on a mountain hike with them? Have you done anything together with this person? If not, you don't have a relationship with this person. Period. Okay, secondly, maybe you met them. How well do you know them? Just if you speak to them a few times doesn't mean that you know them. Do you know them professionally? Do you know them personally? Do you know them from a hobby? Stuff like that. Like, to which degree do you know them? Are you really old friends with them? Do you meet with them informally when they're sick, when they're not so great? Do you share a lot of stuff about one another? So establish the level of your relationship. Next, what is the context in which you feel that you want to pay them a compliment? Is this in a public setting? Is this in a professional setting? Is this in a festive setting? Is this in a, I don't know, any kind of setting related to health? Is this just a casual setting? Is it a sad setting, like maybe a reunion, a gathering, a commemoration? What is it called? I forgot the word. I'm going to put it on screen. So what is the setting? Okay? In which setting do you encounter this person? Always pay a compliment according to your relationship and according to the occasion. Or let me rephrase it. Compliment to the relationship, compliment to the occasion. Always. Dress to the occasion, compliment to the occasion. Relate according to the level you know the person, compliment them according to the level you know the person. Lastly, do you actually mean this compliment? Is it genuine? Is it real? If it is, what is the way in which you can deliver it according to the level of the relationship that you have with this person and the occasion? Here's what I have to say about the how to deliver a compliment. If you don't know a person at all, which was the case with that comment, you're better off with simply saying what positive example, ideas, or inspiration you took away from the person. You are much better off with establishing any kind of trustworthy relationship with somebody that you've never met in person before if you just tell them, this is what I learned from you. This is what I appreciate from the stuff that you say or do or what I know of you. Much better strategy than complimenting somebody that you've never met and doing it in the super wrong way. Okay, you're better off, much safer 99% of the time. Secondly, if you know them a little bit, personally or professionally or just socially, what is the most grounded or simple or straightforward way without you know, superfluous words or exaggerated or pompous words, of paying them a sincere, grounded, simple compliment. Grounded, simple, straightforward. These are your keywords. Let's take the example that I gave before. This guy would have probably been way better received had he just resumed to, I think you're hot. Period, full stop, simple, that's it. No need for pretty hot. We're going to get into the next point here. Pretty hot is a different thing. Okay? It's a different thing. And if you don't know the person, and if you add stuff about what they should do with their body, it lands in the super opposite direction than a compliment would. Okay? That was received as a critique, not as a compliment. So, simple, straightforward, grounded, just wholesome words. That's it. Okay? And this works for professional settings, this works for social settings, this works even, but you got to be very, very careful with the setting here. This works in situations where people are mourning somebody else, you know. It works even in sad contexts sometimes. It can, if you do it in the right way, it can lighten up the atmosphere. It can bring a bit of light in a sad situation. Okay, but you got to be really, really simple and humble with it. If the context is really, really heavy, gloomy, morose, and stuff like that. Lastly, if you want to use modifiers, by modifiers I mean either intensifiers, so you're extremely hot, you are super hot, you look amazing, all of that, these are intensifiers. Or if you want to go for the opposite, this guy would, actually what he did in the first sentence, you are pretty hot, it's called hedging. Hedging is a strategy to diminish or lessen the impact of the word. And you can do it with just simple words, or you can do it with complex sentences. You can do it with syntax, with intonation. So hedging is an entire strategy, and it's done obviously in more contexts, not just in attraction contexts. If you are doing it in the context of you're attracted to somebody and you want to pay them a compliment, but you want to go for hedging, I recommend that you be very, very, very careful with it. If you don't know the person at all, super, super stupid and counterproductive strategy to go for hedging. Super. Hedging essentially lessens, okay, it dilutes the power of the word. It dilutes a compliment. If you don't know the person, that's not the best way to go about it. If this is done in the improper setting, for instance, I'm here showing up not to pick up men, not to date men. I'm here to share my knowledge on intimacy. This is my professional channel. Sometimes I give like 10% of this channel is also with personal stuff. Sure, I'm also a human being. But in most cases, I share here for work. I'm a coach and I spread my messages, my thoughts, my perceptions. People reach me for coaching, you know, by seeing the videos or my online posts or my website. So I'm here mainly 90% of the time professionally. No place to start hedging in relation to me, okay? So always, if you go for hedging, I suggest that you do it in a very casual setting. And if you're in a casual setting with a person, probably you know them. And if there are other people around them, then everybody knows that the two of you have a light relation, not a light, you're very familiar, you support one another, and that is not misunderstood by anybody else either. There are a lot of women out there that don't need criticism, don't need to be fixed by men. A lot of us, I'd say the majority of us. So this guy went for hedging and also gave me an instruction on what to do with myself to look hotter. Poor strategy. So if you want to go again for hedging, it's just hedging. So you just dilute a compliment. Okay. And that's it. It's supposed to be as a joke. And basically you're supposed to be on really friendly or familiar terms with the other person. If it's followed by what you should do, it's usually done in a competitive way. You want to humiliate the person somehow in public. it doesn't help with attraction. Really, it doesn't. Also, learn to read the people. I'm not a masochist. Really, I'm not looking for anybody that would do anything to lessen me or none of that. Never. Read the person. That requires a bit of emotional intelligence. Now, if you don't really compliment according to the relationship and according to the occasion, you can come across as daft. This is what this guy came across. And if the person is really bitchy, they'll just fire it back to you, and that's it. I didn't. Even when I tried to explain a bit of, basic stuff, this guy was like, okay, don't. Actually, he was like, take it easy. I said you were pretty hot. Like he felt somehow like he wasn't done justice. He felt wronged in a way. Yeah, because he came across as daft, and I tried to explain it to him in a respectful way. If you don't get it and you still persist, you're canceled from that person. Like first impressions can really cancel you in that person's eyes. Okay? That's it. That was your shot, and you never even listened to what the person told you, and you continued. So no. What would have been an answer, in this situation that would have somehow mended the situation? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it landed so badly. Or, oh, I apologize, I didn't mean to offend. I didn't mean to be insensitive. My bad. I didn't know, because I actually gave him some information about my hair. I didn't know that you were doing this for that reason. I'm sorry I assumed something without asking. Any of those things would have mended the situation. Nope, this guy was like, take it easy. I said you were pretty hot. Brother, because this is usually, guys do that. Women, very rarely is a woman so daft or lacks emotional intelligence to persist in that dynamic. So usually it's a dude that does that. So gentlemen, if you don't understand a bit about, compliment to the relationship and compliment to the occasion, and if you can't read a person and the context, please go and learn about these things. Go and socialize more. Okay, go and expose yourself to social settings with men and women until you start to pick these things up. Because otherwise you're just gonna feel that women attack you and you're not gonna understand why. And your compliments are gonna keep landing in such a poor way. They're not gonna be seen as compliments, basically. So you're not gonna get it, ever. So, long video, but I really hope that everybody here understands. 1, you're a stranger, don't assume stuff. 2, what is the setting? What is the setting in which we are complimenting? 3, unless you know the person very, very well, and unless that is not a professional setting, don't go for hedging. Okay? Don't give advice to a woman, especially if you're a man, on what a woman should do with her body, unless she asks you. Okay? Unless you're a makeup artist, unless you're a hairstylist, unless you're a plastic surgeon, something like that. Unless you're that and a woman asked you directly, don't start giving other women advice, unsolicited advice, on what to do with themselves. They are never going to take it as a compliment. Never. And I can make an entire video of how a woman could actually do that to you, and you would totally feel that woman's a super weirdo freak, somebody that you would never even touch. Okay? Really. So, I get heated up, with these kinds of discussions, because I feel that this is supposed to be common sense, but apparently it's not for some people. And there are a lot of men who just grow up online and that's it. Or they grow up in incel communities and they never interact with women in the sense of actually seeing them as human beings and understanding what works, what doesn't work, why, or socially, what works, what doesn't work, and why not. Okay? So, again, guys, there are a lot of you here who know how to compliment, and there are a lot of you here who actually just respond to the work that I share. And let me tell you that I appreciate that, okay? I really do. I appreciate your supporting comments and compliments. I appreciate the stuff that you say, your opinions, when you share them respectfully and politely. And I hope that this video somehow shed more light on complementing. Why it works, when it works, why it doesn't work. And actually somebody telling you why it doesn't work. I really hope it's clear. Check out the video one more time or 2 more times until you get it. And if something wasn't clear, drop me a comment. Let me know what you didn't understand, and I can come back with another video and explain. Okay? That's it. See you next time. Bye.